Have you decided which car you're going to do for your quilt? Hi everyone, Cristin Som here, and we are continuing with our Cup of Cheer quilt. So we have so much done. Sections 1, 2, and section 3. And then yesterday we completed section 6 and we sewed them all together so that we have section 4, section 5, and section 6 all together. Oh my gosh, it's huge. It's so fun seeing it all come together. I love this. Absolutely love it. So fun. So today we are going to work on that car, the super cute car. There are options. So you can do the station wagon that is like that Christmas movie, or you can do a Beetle, which is what I'm leaning toward, but I actually haven't decided for sure. So I'm going to do both. I also saw some people were looking for a truck design on the internet and they wanted to put a truck on theirs. That's certainly an option. All kinds of really cute things. So you can personalize it however you want. To hear something funny? I thought I would personalize if I did the Beetle, I wanted to put a tree on the top, because actually I made a design that had a few years ago, a design that was a Beetle with a tree on the top, and it said on the side, please don't let it snow or something like that, because my Beetle is a convertible. So I thought, well, I'm going to get a tree. I thought that would be so cute. Well, then I look in the booklet and there's going to be a tree on top anyway, because it's part of the Advent. So that's so funny. I thought, oh, I'm so ahead of things. I'm going to do a tree. So you don't need to put a tree on it. There will be one with the Advent when we do all of the Advents after we finish our, the Advents are the embellishments that we will do after we finish the quilt. So again, I am going to do both, and so you'll be able to take advantage of that in the tutorial, so that you can decide however you want to do it. So it's a car or a Beetle, and both are on the CD from Kimberbell. The directions for the 5x7 Beetle are on the CD. I'm not going to go through all of that, but I will give some information. All right, so page 16 is the car or the Beetle. I did mine in 2 different packets because I knew I would do both. As you can see, I'm going to use pink for my Beetle. Obviously, I know you're so surprised, right? But I thought this would be really cute. When Kim and Chris came and visited me, they actually brought me a half a yard of a few different pink fabrics, and one of them was the Cup of Cheer fabric. So I'm using that for my Beetle. So let's go ahead and talk about what supplies that we'll need. So on the car, so when I say car, it's that station wagon. And there are a few pieces, but this is really easy. It's basically an applique. It is a long one, but it's a pretty simple applique. So let's go ahead and go over. So this is gray with white dots. It's a big piece of long fabric. And we're going to start with this at 12.5 by 6.5. Make sure to back it with fusible stabilizer. Big pieces of fabric like this tend to pucker. So 12.5 by 6.5, and it's the gray with white dots on it. And then we are going to use, for the station wagon, it's a red silky solid. Red silky solid. I did back mine with fusible stabilizer. And we're going to start with this at 10.5 by 3.5. 10.5 by 3.5 for the station wagon. All right, and then for the trim, it is that brown with lines all over it. There you go. You can see that brown with lines all over it. And I did back mine with fusible stabilizer, and this one is a big, long, thin piece. So it's 10.5 by 1.5. 10.5 by 1.5 for the trim of the station wagon. And then 2 more, it's for the tires. So for your tires, 2 pieces, and they are 2.5 by 2.5. 2 pieces that are 2.5 by 2.5 for the tires, or the wheels, I guess, whatever. All right, and then we are going to quilt it. So we're going to need a piece of batting. I always base it on the final cut size, and let me see, the final cut size. Oh, where is it? The final cut size is 10.5 by 4.5. So that means we want a piece of batting that is 11 by 5. 11 by 5 for your batting. And then for the quilting on this is really cute. It's going to be the Christmas tree. It's called Tree 1, and we're going to use size 4x10 in vertical. So you're going to make sure to use the vertical design so that it looks like your car is driving through the trees, like going to go get a Christmas tree. Super cute. I love that. So 4x10. If you are using an 8x12 hoop, that will fit fine. If you are using a 6x10 hoop, you would have to take off the steps 3 and 4 from the quilting because it would actually be 10.5 inches. If you are using a 5x7 hoop, so here's your added information, because I'm not going to go over all of the details of the 5x7, but for the 5x7 you would use, let's see, a 6x4 design and a 4x4 design would equal out to the 4x10. So 4x10, you would use 4x6 and 4x4 to be able to get the double hooping to get the long amount of quilting. All right, and then I don't believe you can do the station wagon I think you have to have at least a 6x10 for the station wagon, but you can do the Beetle, which I think the Beetle's pretty darn cute personally. All right, so that is for the car, which is the station wagon. And then for the Beetle, for those that decide to do a Beetle, I've heard several people are going to do the Beetle. I think it's so darn cute. Very, very cute. So most of the information is the same. So the main fabric, luckily I had some extras so that I could do 2 of these blocks. And then for this main fabric, just like before, it's 12.5 by 6.5 backed with fusible stabilizer for this big piece of fabric, 12.5 by 6.5 for your main fabric, and it's that gray with white dots. And then for the Beetle car, like I said, I'm going to use this pink with all the cute Christmassy cups on it. I think that'll be really cute. And for this, we needed 8 by 3.5. 8 by 3.5 for the Beetle car. And then same thing for the tires. It's 2 pieces of 2.5 by 2.5 for the tires of the Beetle. There isn't a trim on this one, so we won't use a trim for the Beetle. And then same thing for your batting. What did I say? 11 by 5, I believe it was. Final cut size was 10.5 by 4.5, so 11 by 5 for your batting, same as the other piece. And then same thing for the quilting. We're going to use the Tree 1 in 4x10 vertical design. So that cute little Beetle will be driving through the forest of trees to go get a Christmas tree. So 4x10, and like I said before, if you have a 5x7 hoop, you could do a 4x6 and a 4x4. All right, so those are all the parts of the car. There's nothing different. I wondered if we would need to move the car down or anything like that, but we don't. We have the quilting design and the car design centered. So everything should be super easy. There are some special cut instructions because it's such a long block. So we'll use several of the pop rulers, and I'll go over that when we get there. But let's go ahead and get started making a car and a Beetle. Hey everyone, so real quick I wanted to show you one thing that needs to change if you're doing the Beetle car. So in Embellishment Essentials, I can give you a visual. So here is the quilting design with the station wagon, and I've opened up another tab here, and I'm using my 8x12 hoop. I'm going to bring in the quilting design real quick, which is Tree 1 in 4x10. So it is right here in the vertical, 4x10 Tree 1 vertical. Double click on that, goes to the center, and then I'm going to bring in the Beetle car, and I just want to show you one change that needs to happen depending on your hoop size. So I'm going to close out this quilting. I went to merge stitch file, and let's see, cup of cheer quilt, embroidery files, Pez, cup of cheer quilt, and it's in the Beetle car is in the 5x7 double hoop folder number 7 here, and here it is. Double click on that and it goes to the center. Now I want to just point out, so if I click on just the car, see how it has these placement stitches, and that is for the people that are going to double hoop. So for those of you that are not going to double hoop and just want to use the Beetle car, we can take those out, and I am going to take them out. This first one here, see, it's just this blue line. I'm going to just click on my keyboard, the delete key, and then the second one is for placement for the main fabric. Same thing, I'm going to delete this because we're doing the quilting, so we don't need it. But notice then it's off center, okay? And so that's why I want to point out that this is a necessity if you are not double hooping, you won't be using all those placement lines and so forth. You just click those first two items and delete them, and then we have to recenter this. You can see that it is centered horizontally, but vertically it's quite off. So I'm just going to hit the right button, right arrow on my keyboard to get this to the center. See right there, this is our center line on our hoop. And so I'm just using those black squares as a guide to make sure that this is all centered, and that is done. And then we can send it to your machine if you have a machine that allows you to do that. That was just a very simple, easy fix, but it's necessity if you are not double hooping. So otherwise your car will not be centered. So that was just a real quick how-to, and we're good to go on doing the station wagon and the Beetle car, whichever one you choose to do. my shirt today is Just Be You. And a bunch of us actually made this shirt when we were just starting out learning Embellishment Essentials, and we added this wording here where it says #BeAutiful. So something fun to try out, and there is a tutorial on it as well. I will link to it underneath this video.